You're watching 757 Hustle Show. My name is George, and it is time for some G.I. Joe, baby. Yeah, man, we've done He-Man so far. We've done Star Wars, but one of my big all-time faves, and you know it right there, baby, it's G.I. Joe. Yo, Joe, I've been a fan, not the 1960s stuff. I'm talking about the 80s, G.I. Joe, a real American hero. I was there for the cartoon. I was there for the Weather Dominator. I was there for all that shit, man. I punched out around when the aircraft carrier came about. Even my dad was like, all right, bro, you got to stop with these toys. That's like a freaking $300 boat. You know, we don't even have a pool. But anyway, I love the communities, and I found on Instagram, I saw somebody post this picture and it was amazing. And then I started looking at the rest of his pictures. I'm like, yo, this guy's a Joe fan. And not only is he a G.I. Joe fan, find out he's a drummer, man. Fuck yeah, man. So, you know, that's like two good pluses right there. And I think he's Latino. I am half Colombian, so that might be another. Who knows? Who the fuck knows? Anyway, hey guys, make some noise. First time to the show. Let's welcome our new friend. He's got some crazy ass name. He's gonna have to explain his name. Let's welcome the Mexican Griswolds. We got our man Joe right here, man. How you doing, brother?
Hey, hey, thanks for the invite. Thanks for letting me come in on and enjoy some time here with the fellow Joe bros and whoever's out there fan wise, musicians wise. Yes, absolutely. I am Joe from the Mexican Griswolds.
Nice. How do you get that name, Mexican Griswold?
Well, back in around 2012, I started working for a particular hospital system that I'm still teaching today. But at the time, I was traveling across the country with my family. So for a good amount of years, something like 6 years or so, we were traveling the country. And the first year we were traveling en route to, I think it was Oregon from Charlotte, North Carolina. We stopped to stay at a hotel. We were driving. We weren't flying. We were driving. So we literally stopped at a hotel one of the nights, and the movie, the Chevy Chase movie, came on. And it seems that we were on the same route that they were taking to Wally World, right? So I said, hey, we're the Mexican Griswolds.
You're saying it's like the Chevy Chase movie?
Yeah, in that sense, yeah. As far as we did so much traveling, yeah, we were traveling like, city to city, state to state for the job that I was doing, that I'm still doing, but no longer traveling on the road like I was before as a contractor.
Nice. And you are in Texas, right?
Yeah, I live in Fort Worth with my family. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm originally from New York City. I'm in Virginia now. So and I think it's pretty cool. You see, I that's what I like about, first of all, the internet's pretty cool that you can communicate and reach out to other fans, and you can geek out and talk about, hey, you remember this? Hey, look at this. And sometimes it's like you might be looking for something, and this guy be like, hey man, this guy in El Paso selling the boat, or this guy in Houston is selling, the aircraft carrier, the flag, the little. And isn't it true, for those who don't know, sometimes the little pieces are harder and more expensive to find than the actual toy, right? Yeah,
the accessories. Yeah, the accessories are harder to find and usually more expensive.
And you're a big G.I. Joe fan, right? And what got you into G.I. Joe?
Well, for me, I got into the G.I. Joes at an early age when I was about 5 years old, and my dad would take me to the toy stores, and up until that point, those were the golden years of the 80s. And the G.I. Joes, Transformers, He-Man, all that stuff, that was like the golden age of toys, right?
Yeah, man.
So
crazy.
So my dad would take me on a weekly basis to back then it was KB Toys. I didn't have a Toys R Us in the city that I lived in, which I'm from Brownsville, Texas, which is as far south as you can get before you jump over to Mexico. So there was only one mall and only one toy store, which was KB Toys. And so I would go there every weekend and, pick up a new toy, and it was either G.I. Joe, Transformer, He-Man, one of those. It was just great.
For those who don't know, KB Toy Store in New York, we had them in the malls.
Oh,
right?
Nice. Yeah.
They're all in the malls, and in I think on the West Coast, like you guys had them in shopping.
Right.
Trips, right? Yeah. In East Coast, 90% of the KB Toy stores were in malls.
Right.
So when you go to the mall, you're like, oh, we're going to KB. Oh, we're going to KB. Yeah, man. KB was a place. And you know what was cool about KB was it was Toys R Us, but smaller. So everything was right there. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to waste your time in the baby section.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty cool. Do you remember your first G.I. Joe?
Oh, my first G.I. Joe. I'm gonna say it was probably either Big Boa or the bats, the Cobra bats, or the Viper. I think it was the bats. It might have been the bats, Cobra bats, and which is still one of my favorites to this point. You know, the android battle android trooper. Yeah, man.
The bats, and even the Viper, the Cobra Viper with the silver mask.
Yeah,
That's definitely a great two beginner figures. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
It's like you get the bat, all the accessories, and all of a sudden, it's like, oh crap, and then you get somebody with no accessories. You're like, what the hell? He
right.
doesn't have a gun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nice. Speaking of movies, did you actually like the film version, the live action?
Oh, yeah, they were cool. You know, as a fan, you'll get excited by anything. Now, the one that I didn't like was the Snake Eyes one. That one was kind of crap. But
Yeah.
yeah, the retaliation, and Rise of Cobra was pretty decent. Yeah, they was good. They were great as far as like bringing those characters to life.
They had good parts, and then
Yeah.
it was
I wish they would have made some of those background characters more of the actual figures that existed versus just like, I mean, Ripcord became the guy from the Wayans brothers, right? It's like, well, wait a minute, that wasn't Ripcord, but that's fine. At least they made the name in there. So I would have been okay if they would have thrown in Tunnel Rat for the name of Tunnel Rat for that guy that was like the comms guy, just because he looked little. I mean, it would have been cool if they added some of that. Same thing with the Transformers movie. All those military guys in the live action Transformers, they could have just said they were a secret organization. And as a fan, that would have been more than enough. Like, oh, they mean the Joes. They mean the Joes.
I still say Transformers the movie is the best live action G.I. Joe movie we've had so far.
They just needed to name it G.I. Joe's. They should have said, at least name one of the guys Duke or somebody, and that would have, yeah.
Bro, I watched Transformers, and this is a true story. When I first saw Transformers in the theater, I'm watching them in the desert. Go, go, go.
They were Joes.
I'm like, this is fucking G.I. Joe, man.
Yeah, and now they got wise to it, and they're finally releasing the Transformer crossover G.I. Joe movies. Like, really? Y'all should have done that with the freaking Bay films at the beginning of the whole damn thing. But whatever.
Yeah, man.
They would have made stupid money just knowing that they would have crossed them over.
Or just have that's the beginning of G.I. Joe.
Yeah, something.
Something. Yeah, 100%, man. Definitely. Yeah, I feel the same way about the movies and shit like that.
Yeah.
So check this out, man. When I found you, let me add your Instagram. So explain again what a kick a bash is real quick while I put this up.
Yeah, a kit bash is essentially putting together a figure from different parts of other figures. So it could be different lines like Galoob, Hasbro, like Leonard the Core, just parts that kind of were made with a 3 3/4 inch scale that all can kind of fit together, whether it's just the head or the arms or the legs or whatever, torso. And then even things like figures from Black Major, which I use a lot. Like Black Major are essentially repros of the G.I. Joe original body mold, but in different colors. So those are great for kit bashings. You can get the legs and parts of different figures and make this version. So in this case, this kit bash that I made is a kit bash of myself. I used the accessories, like the cap is from a company called Marauders Gun Runner. Go to that website, you will be hooked. They have stuff for classified figures and for 3 3/4 figure line. So from the scarf to the cap to knee pads to vest to anything you want. And then I have this little drum set because I also work part-time at Guitar Center teaching drum lessons in the evenings. That's my part-time job in the evenings.
No stairway to heaven.
Yeah. So that little drum set on the right is from an actual ornament that they sold at Guitar Center. The band that I'm in is called Back to Vinyls. We're a cover band for the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. We play stuff from, from Fleetwood Mac all the way to Nirvana and Foo Fighters and stuff like that, fun stuff.
How long have you been drumming?
I've been drumming since I was about 10 years old.
10 years old? Nice.
Yeah. I was in drumline all the way through grade school, high school. I played the snare all the way to the quads. I started playing in bands at church and then outside of church and cover bands in the Valley, Rio Grande Valley. And then, I started traveling for like I said, my actual job is working at the hospitals, teaching doctors and nurses the computer system. Well, that took me all over the country, 39 states with my family. So again, we call ourselves a Mexican Griswolds because we were traveling all over the place via car, just enjoying the world, the country. I mean, 39 states, for those amount of years, we were just going all over the place. So that was nice. And then so I landed back in my state of Texas for a gig here, and they kept me here full time. I worked for Baylor Scott & White. And now I just, do what my other passions, which is drums and martial arts.
That's awesome. So does this guy on screen has a GI Joe code name or?
So technically, the guy on the right, I used the head of Big Brawler. He's a 2001 or 2000 figure. It was a two-pack with tripwire, a modern kind of Night Force tripwire, which is way better than the original tripwire, if you ask me, because he won't break. The original tripwire crotch broke instantly. This and these newer ones, that like the 90s and 2000s Joes, are more rubbery in some areas. Their thumbs don't break, and their crotches are a little more forgiving. So yeah, that head was told to me by another Joe Bro years ago, like, hey, you kind of look like this one guy. I'm like, what? And I looked him up. Yeah, Big Brawler. So this is Big Brawler V1. I mean, we got the same beard outline. I mean, if I take off my cap, we got the same forehead and everything. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, the figure actually with the Latino beard.
I know, right? I know.
Funny.
And you know what's crazy too is the file card for Big Brawler is that he's a martial arts expert, and I'm like, well, I'm a 30B black belt. I've been in martial arts since the age of 6. I teach martial arts, Krav Maga, so it's really crazy.
Tell me about this martial arts you do, my man.
Yeah. So for me, I started at the age of 6, the original Karate Kid movie, man. My dad took me to see that. And, you know, you come out of that original Karate Kid movie doing the crane kick, right? And I had a lot of energy. Back then, we didn't get diagnosed with ADHD. It was just like, oh, you're hyper. That was the word back then. You're hyper. And sure enough, I was a hyper kid, and I'm still hyper now. I'm full of energy, which is why I probably made such a good drummer and a martial artist, because I got so much energy. So my dad immediately, you got to have the energy. The cardio side, right? So yeah, my dad took me to Taekwondo school. Started at the age of 6 to the age of 10. I got my black belt in that. Shortly after he passed, to honor my dad, I decided to stay in martial arts as long as I could. So I started going to another martial arts school. I learned some Shotokan karate and Aikido. Back then, it was like Van Damme and Steven Seagal were in the 90s. You know, they were huge. So I wanted to do all the splits and the kicks and the flips and all that, and the arm locks and the breaks. And so I did some jiu-jitsu. I did some ninjutsu. I did kickboxing, Muay Thai style. So I got all kinds of awards and trophies in that. And it was really cool doing competitions. But eventually, as I settled down, became an adult and got married, had kids, my wife's like, you know what? Why don't you teach martial arts or something on the side and make some extra cash? So I started doing that, going to private lessons, teaching private lessons, and helping others out that maybe have been attacked. I've had friends and who have been attacked, and they're like women as well, that were like, they didn't know how to respond. And Krav Maga is what I teach, which is street defense, more against guns, against weapons, against knives, against multiple attackers. Yeah.
Hand movement stuff.
Say what?
More hand movement.
Well, it's close quarters combat, so it's hand-to-hand combat. So it's not about, like, Taekwondo is all kicks, right? It's competition based, it's kicks, and that's cool for kids. But for the real world, you need something that'll actually show you not to be afraid, because you're going to get hit, guaranteed. You're going to get nailed in the face, in the stomach, in the legs, somewhere. You're going to get hit in a fight. People think it's like staged. No, it's going to come at you from all angles, and there might be a friend kicking you in the back too. So you got to know how to not be afraid to react. And those are the things that I teach, is the reaction time that you take. Even if there's someone pulling a gun at you, they have a knife, how do you defend? Do you have a family with you? Do you defend your family first? What do you do, right, in those situations? It's all situational awareness.
Awesome, man. That's pretty cool, man. And where can we get more information about this? Do you have an online class or something? Or
no. I kind of, so I was going back to when I was traveling. I was doing that on the road. Landed back in my home state of Texas. Got settled in here in Fort Worth, and my wife, COVID happened, and my wife's like, "Hey, what do you want to do?" I'm like, well, luckily I was working for the hospital systems, and they gave me, time off to work from home, paid, which was nice, but I was kind of getting bored and stuff. And my drum set, I had sold it because we were traveling for so long. So I had sold my drum set. My wife's like, you know what? There's a Guitar Center right here down the street. You should check it out. Again, my wife, she's a great supporter. She influences me to do stuff, not be bored or whatever, because I'm very hyper. I get bored easily. So
like, stop sparring with me. Please go find somebody else.
Yeah, luckily I was teaching my son and my daughter martial arts already at the time during COVID, so that was great. My son's a black belt as well. But so my wife's like, you know what? Why don't you check it out? Go check it out. So I applied on a Guitar Center and got hired immediately as a drum instructor, because I've been drumming for so long. Their test is funny. Their interview is like, okay, well, get on the drums and show me what you can do. Can you do these rhythms? I'm like, immediately started doing like multiple rhythms and things, and explained to them that I was in band, so I knew how to teach and all that. So yeah, I've been doing that now. I've been there going on 5 years at Guitar Center, and teaching. I have 30 students. I teach from 5 to 8 in the evening. So I'm never available to do anything else. But for a little while, I was teaching both martial arts and Guitar Center drums because I didn't have a lot of students yet.
At the same
But then
time, imagine.
at the same time, yeah, drumming and hitting with the sticks at the same time. Yeah, yeah.
Stay on the
That's
beat.
called Kali. That's actually a style. It's called Kali. Yeah,
There you go. See, stay on the
or
beat.
Esgrima. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's so now I'm like super busy with drums and I got in a band. I've been in a band now, in a couple of different bands, and then now primarily just one band that I don't have time for anything. So I'm literally, my son plays guitar and bass. My daughter plays guitar and piano at church. And my son's an audio engineer at church, and
We gotta take the whole family on tour.
Yeah,
man.
we're a band, man. We're a band for sure. We have. Guitar Center has this thing called a showcase or a recital every 3 months, and I host it. And usually most of my students, they do a part in it. So they're allowed to come in and play to a song or jam out or whatever, show their skills. So to help my students break their kind of fear of drumming, because I have ages 5 all the way to 65 of students wise for drums, both male and female. Well, early on, my kids and I were like, you know what, let's do a little performance to kind of get them loose. So we've done things like Mudvayne, we've done songs like Toto, we've done Rush, we've done all kinds of fun music to kind of inspire the kids.
For those who don't play music, the bands he just listed, that's high quality playing right there. You got to know how to play that stuff he just mentioned.
Yeah, so thanks.
Yeah. So he just mentioned Mudvayne, and first of all,
Rush.
Anybody plays Rush, yeah, they call the drummer the professor. So
yeah, exactly.
Got to know your stuff. So that's awesome, dude. Those
videos you can find on YouTube. If you follow me on YouTube, I'm under there as well. You can find those videos and recordings, including some drum things that I do there, recording the drum clips and from the band that I'm in. And so yeah, you can find all kinds of cool stuff on my YouTube channel, including martial art lessons.
That's cool, man. Yeah, definitely check him out, man. And and it's the same name, right? The Mexican
Griswolds, yeah.
There you go. Look at him jamming.
That's me and my son. Oh man, I have a good 4 or 5 main drummers that really, really inspired me. Of course, Neil Peart, depending on how you want to say it. Dave Weckl, which was the drummer for Chick Corea, who went solo. He's just an amazing jazz drummer. If you know anything about jazz, that's probably the hardest type of drumming. Yes. On the progressive rock side, Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater is one of my favorite bands as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Mike Portnoy, man. So bands like that really inspired me just to make me grow, as a drummer.